And tonight I'm casting a matchup featuring Liquid HuK. He's going to be the blue Protoss player at the bottom left position of Shakura's Plateau. Liquid HuK, a very scary Protoss player. He is very devoted to Starcraft 2, of course. I mean, he's living in Korea, living in the OGS house, actually. Very scary member of Team Liquid. Really looking forward to seeing what he has in store for us today on Shakura's Plateau. This is a ladder match off the Korean servers, of course. Liquid HuK's opponent spawning at the top right position. I could probably come up with about 9 different pronunciations for this name. I'm just going to go with Lova. Lova is going to be the red Terran player here. So we have cross-positional spawning locations, very long by foot. I mean, you've got this medium-sized ramp down to your natural expansion, another ramp that goes down towards this neutral territory. You have to go all the way across and then back up your opponent's ramp and into his main base. Extremely long rush distance, and that really makes this matchup on Shakura's Plateau, really depending where you spawn. A gateway going up at a very regular time, barracks as well. I'm going to keep an eye on the production tab for refineries and assimilators. Going to try to decipher these build orders here in the early game, but I don't really expect anything unorthodox. We have a refinery gone down already back at HuK's base. He's put down the assimilator as well. So very standard opening so far. Nothing too cheesy on the way. HuK actually sent quite an early probe. I see HuK do this quite a bit. Get that scouting intel, you know, ASAP. It's going to be scouting the wrong position initially, but I'm sure this probe is going to head up to the northeast afterwards. So we've got 3 SCVs already mining gas. The assimilator has arrived, and of course 3 probes as well. Nothing too unorthodox here just yet. Cybernetics core also going up very close to home. All of HuK's building so far very centralized in his main base. The probe now finally for HuK arriving in the Terran base. Lova has sent out an SCV as well, but his scouting is quite a bit later than HuK's. Now that we've got a Marine sort of dancing with the probe, the Marine getting a little bit anxious. Oh, and the supply depot goes up. Mule comes down, and do we have another Marine? Oh, I don't think he's going to make it. That probe actually escapes. If this initial Marine was just a tiny bit less aggressive, he didn't really need to chase the probe around. HuK's probe actually probably would have been killed. But it's not really the case today. HuK's going to actually send it and maybe idle on the high ground up here. Not uncommon. You can definitely use the architecture of this map. You know, hide a pylon up here for a 4-gate, or even putting up a pylon down here. You can warp in units into your opponent's base for a nice flank during a 4-gate. Very early command center going down at the natural, and a Reaper on the way as well after the tech lab arrived. Second barracks on the way. Probe tries to go in for a second look, but it does get denied by these Marines. I mean, HuK could almost infer that there is a command center going up just because these Marines have moved to the low ground. Certainly not conclusive, though. The SCV for our Terran player was able to scout everything going on in the Protoss base back at the front door of Lova. Turn the health bars on. We see this Stalker for HuK trying to micro a little bit. Reapers really don't do a lot of damage to Stalkers. So, I mean, pretty fair exchange. 1 Marine and 1 Reaper for 1 Stalker. Pretty even. And certainly has secured that intel, which really makes it worth it. You know, the sacrificial Stalker, seeing what's going on there, making HuK feel comfortable enough to put up a Nexus of his own. Another gateway on the way along with a robotics facility. So a really safe opener for HuK, because he knows the Terran player is fast expanding, and also safe because he's getting that early robotics facility. Going to have an observer out. I mean, HuK doesn't necessarily know what tech path Lova is going for. He could be getting cloaked Banshees for all he knows, so very important as a Protoss player to get that observer out quickly versus a Terran. This SCV is not going to get a chance to scout. That is the second SCV that has been killed of Lova's. Keeping an eye on the production tab, we actually do have well, we've got a worthless scan there. He did not see the robotics facility. He did not see the second gateway with that scan. Often Protoss players will hide tech structures at the exterior of their main base, so I understand Lova's thinking, but didn't work out for him there. Really bunkering up pretty hard. Could certainly be concerned about a four-gate attack because Lova has not scouted the robotics facility. The Xelnog is very important on this matchup. You can certainly get perfect vision of your opponent's potential third base. Stimpack's almost done. A reactor on the second barracks. Still just producing off of 3 racks at this stage of the game. Now putting up a factory. So Lova really taking quite a while to start teching up, while HuK, on the other hand, already has an observer on the way. Want to keep an eye on the units tab. The worker count really looking really healthy for HuK, and these SCVs are just getting slaughtered again and again. Really not enough scouting for Lova. 3 SCVs, 3 SCVs got, scouts getting taken out. Lova really needs more scouting. Observer has arrived and is going to see exactly what's going on. So I'm liking HuK's chances at this point. I mean, I haven't seen this game, but HuK has really got this scouting down packed right now. He's got map control for sure. He's got actually 2 observers out already, so really good map control. He's getting a robotics bay and putting down a forge as well, and another robotics facility. I want to keep an eye actually on the income tab. HuK is just doing so well on the income tab, really allowing him to put down a lot of tech structures here. I mean, we're only 9 minutes into the game, and soon enough, HuK is going to have 2 robotics facility, robo bay, and he's going to start ticking away on upgrades, I'm sure, as soon as that forge arrives. Observer still keeping an eye on the front door of Lova. Getting a starport as well. Putting a reactor on that factory. I'm wondering if the reactor is going to be used on the factory or the starport. I would certainly guess the starport, because I can't imagine Hellions being entirely effective in this situation. Lots of gas and upgrades as well. Thermal Lance, one of the most important upgrades in the game, along with ground weapons level 1. Gonna take out these back rocks. Maybe HuK is looking for the smiley face expansion to be his third. I'm wondering what third the Terran player is actually going to go for. Army tab looking pretty actually favorable towards HuK. HuK right now leading by about 21 supply. Mind you, about 15 or 16 of that supply is actually workers. So very strong economy for HuK. Wow, lots of pylons down at this base as well, so maybe he's not going to be going for that smiley, and he's actually going to take this top left. Just putting down so many pylons here. Going to keep an eye on these destructible rocks and just see where HuK wants to take this from here. Not going to be using that factory. He put the reactor on the starport. Start pumping out Vikings, actually. Getting a medevac as well. He's actually got another starport up here, and soon enough he's going to be producing off of 6 racks. Another command center going down, so Lova is going to float this command center probably down to this base, maybe over to this upside down smiley face. We're going to have to wait and see for that. HuK still controlling this Xelnaga, stationing some units at the top left position as well. And Lova should really continue to scout with this factory. I mean, with over 1,200 hit points, you can do a lot of useful scouting, and there's really no anti-air at all anyway. So I'd like to see Lova float that factory in, get that intel. Lots of upgrades going down as well. I mean, the Ghost Academy arrived a little while ago, getting that Mobius reactor, spawning Ghost with an additional 25 energy. Very important, get those EMP rounds off. Absolutely vital versus almost any Protoss army composition. Ghost very useful in TVP. And HuK, I've actually seen getting this upgrade quite a bit. Oh, did he just cancel it? No, he got... I thought I saw the gravitic boost for observers, but hold that thought. We do have a Terran push into the main base of Liquid HuK. The Marauders, along with the Marine, trying to push in and using that back door as well. Again, architecture very important in this particular matchup. So he must have actually already completed that upgrade. I saw it in the production tab a moment ago. we can see the Protoss observer move speed has increased. So that's what I was just making a point a minute ago about. Now this factory actually going to move into the top right here. These Stalkers should take it out pretty quickly. Stalkers, you know, pretty decent DPS. But you know what? The scouting has been done. Lova sees this top left expansion. So yeah, that factory, you know, I guess worth it. But he can't build any more starports for until he gets another factory out, of course. Lots of upgrades. He's actually getting ship weapons, so Viking's going to be working their way into the composition for Lova. Very Viking heavy, so you don't often actually see players get that ship weapon upgrade for Vikings. Vikings, of course, going to be used against the Colossi, and here we go. HuK moving in. It's going to try to shut down this 12 o'clock base from Lova. Is Lova going to be able to react in time? Should have gotten those destructible rocks down sooner. Is this command center gonna burn down? It's at 60 hit points. Come on, you gotta hurry an SCV to repair it. That's a very expensive building. We'll keep it down there. We'll keep an eye on that. A scan going down at the northwest base for HuK, but it doesn't look like Lova actually wants to engage here. Now, he did get an SCV there to repair the expansion. Lots of upgrades have arrived for HuK. So many, I haven't even been able to get to them all. He's got Charge completed already, Blink on the way, ground weapons level 2 on the production tab as well. And here we go. Lots of Vikings, but Stalker's able to thwart them for the meantime. And this is actually looking to be a pretty big exchange. Lots of Marine Marauders. He's got to get some medevacs as well if he wants to be, you know, stimming those that bio ball. And 12 Vikings, and they have their first weapons upgrades. They're going to be very effective at taking out 5 Colossus. Positioning very important though for the Vikings and Stalkers as well. It's going to be quite a little dance. And nice, very nice blink into position there, taking out, I believe, 2 Vikings and 1 medevac. He's going to have to wait for the cooldown, and he does. Cooldown not too bad on the blink. Able to get back into position, and these Colossus just devastating the Marines and Marauders, but a number of them getting very low on hit points. 2 Colossi have now gone down, but all these charge lots along with the blinking Stalkers, this is actually a very effective composition for HuK. These charged Zealots to deal with the bio ball effectively. Blinking Stalkers devastate Vikings, and then of course Colossi as well. So HuK now looking to press in and press his advantage, and this is looking to be a pretty scary Protoss presence in the Terran base. As the Stimpak goes down, all the SCVs are off the line. The barracks, this whole row of barracks, actually sort of favoring HuK at this point. The Terran units kind of funneling in. Lots of force fields, trying to hold back the remaining Marines and Marauders. Blinking back his remaining Stalkers, a couple of Colossi. Going to toast up some Marauders as well. Excellent range on those Colossi. This one barely escaping with 31 hit points and 15 kills. This second Colossi, still a Mentor with 9 kills. More charge lots getting into the mix for sure. And Liquid HuK is, yeah, he's looking pretty good here. I mean, his macro was really what propelled him forward in this matchup. Just having 3 bases and holding the Terran to 2. Now a couple charge lots making their way down here, and continuing to just rally units in, warping them in over here, just rallying them in. No good game, but that's fine. So Lova leaves. Pretty cool Protoss versus Terran